Welcome back to the news. Campaign for Sierra Leone's forthcoming presidential election is in full swing, with incumbent Ernest Bai Koroma aiming to secure another term. Former junta leader Julius Maada Bio is flying the flag of the leading opposition party, the Sierra Leone People's Party, and is seen as Koroma's main challenger. Both candidates are campaigning on the platform to end corruption in the country. We have details in this report.
Less than a week to go before the presidential elections in Sierra Leone. As campaigning reaches its climax, it seems clear the outcome will depend on the duel between President Ernest Bai Koroma and former military junta chief Julius Maada Bio. Koroma, although favourite, has faced a barrage of criticism from opponents who claim he's done little to stop corruption. The president strongly defending his record.
I campaign on the platform of empowering the anti-corruption, and I have done that. And I am proud to say that our anti-corruption legislation is about the toughest in Africa.
The record of Koroma's running mate, the outgoing Vice President Sam Sumana, is under scrutiny after allegations he accepted bribes from influential players in the timber industry. It's a sensitive subject in Sierra Leone.
We are going to do a comprehensive review of all the agreements to make sure that they comply with national laws in the first place, best practices internationally, and also to make sure that we have a win-win situation.
Much progress has been achieved in Sierra Leone since the end of the civil war, yet the country remains bedeviled by high unemployment and the illegal drugs trade.
It has been quite a difficult period. A very difficult navigation to go. But we have succeeded stabilizing the loans, restoring confidence in the economy, attracting international investment. I am asking for re-election so that we can continue with this process.
It's hoped a successful conclusion to the country's third elections since the conflict will strengthen confidence and encourage economic development.
Residents of the Cameroonian border village of Amishide have confirmed the presence of Boko Haram militants in the settlement. Reports say many of the militants melt across the porous Nigerian-Cameroon border after hitting targets on the Nigerian side of the border. The frontier is largely unguarded due to inadequate and poorly trained security in the area. We have more on that story in this report.
This is the neighborhood of Banki in Nigeria's northeast, a place where Islamist militants from Boko Haram caused devastation a couple of months ago. The town's on the border with Cameroon, and it's thought those responsible for the violent attacks come and go across the porous frontier.
The raiders go across the border regularly. When there are problems, when people are killed, they go across to Cameroon. It happens often. They operate for a couple of hours, then they disappear.
In Amchide, on the Cameroon side of the border, it's common knowledge that the Boko Haram militants are based somewhere around the town. Amchide's 8,000-strong population is overwhelmingly Muslim and Hausa, the same as in the Borno state of neighboring Nigeria.
Nobody knows who they are. Are any of them Cameroonians? No one can say.
Cameroon and Nigeria share a 2,000-kilometer-long border. A few years ago, frontier markers were installed to show the line between the two countries, but these symbols are totally ignored by local people as they go about their business.
I guess the border markers keep somebody happy, but they make no difference to me. Nobody pays any attention to them, to what they mean. I haven't got a clue.
A short distance further to the south, the Cameroon village of Mogode adjoins the Nigerian village of Kamale. People wander to and fro across the unguarded border, which is indicated by some tree trunks lying in the road. This Cameroonian has never been bothered by the authorities as he takes his goat to feed across the border, but he's familiar with the militants.
We know them well. How can I tell who they are? We recognize them by their way of talking. It's different from our own way of talking.
Border police don't have the resources to control the frontier and don't expect much cooperation from local people who've been used to wandering to and fro unhindered for years. In this context, it's virtually impossible for security forces to detect the presence of the Boko Haram militants who are believed to be lying low in this part of Cameroon.
Well, the scandal that cost David Petraeus his job as CIA director has now drawn in his successor in Afghanistan, General John Allen. The top U.S. NATO commander in Afghanistan is under investigation. Pentagon is looking at what is said to be inappropriate messages he allegedly sent to a Florida woman identified as Jill Kelly. Defense officials say General Allen denied any wrongdoing. We have details of that story in this report.
The Petraeus affair has become the top reality show in the United States, but the TV screen is real life. And the latest turn of events concerns the possible implication of the commander of NATO forces in Afghanistan, General John Allen. Allen has been the subject of another investigation for sending messages judged inappropriate to a woman, Jill Kelly. She is allegedly linked to the sex scandal in which CIA boss Petraeus is involved. Jill Kelly allegedly received threats from a former lover of Petraeus, Paula Broadwell, also his biographer. It is she at the center of the entire affair. On Monday night, FBI agents searched her home, the site, and took away boxes of documents. The political in-crowd in Washington wants answers. Did the FBI learn that Petraeus and Broadwell were lovers dating back to the summer? Why was nothing said at the time? Could their relationship have threatened U.S. national security? The former CIA boss was scheduled to answer all these questions before Congress on Thursday, but now pressure is being stepped up on the FBI and the Obama administration. They must explain why they waited 4 months before admitting the investigation.
Well, over now to sports. World number one Novak Djokovic maintains his fine form in the season-ending World Tour Championship with another impressive win over Swiss star Roger Federer. The world's top two players engaged in an observing contest in London, with the Serbian coming out on top. We have details in this report.
The 25-year-old from Belgrade overcame the challenge of defending champion Roger Federer in the final at the O2 Arena after 2 intense sets. The level of tennis played was incredibly high indeed, right from the start. And the 7-6, 7-5 scoreline tells its own story of how close this battle was. Federer was trying to win the event for the 3rd time in a row and 7th overall, but it wasn't to be. After his impressive victory, Novak Djokovic told CNN's Alex Thomas just who he was playing for on Monday night.
A huge influence. He was a very important person in my life, first of all because he was the one who bought me the first tennis racket. He was the one that actually allowed me to realize my dreams and to play tennis that I fell in love with when I was 4 years old, and he always believed that I can make it, you know, and he deserves this victory, and he's fighting his own battle right now. Unfortunately, he's for the last couple of weeks in hospital, so I'm going to visit him tomorrow and hopefully bring the smile on his face with a trophy that is going to give him an extra strength to move on.
And before we go, reminder of top stories. President Jammeh has appointed Bala Gaba Jahumpa as a new Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure. The Ministry of Agriculture has declared national animal emergency in the wake of an outbreak of the contagious bovine pleural pneumonia in the Gambia. Sierra Leone's leading candidates are making frantic efforts to garner more votes ahead of next week's presidential polls. And America's top military commander in Afghanistan has come under investigation for allegedly sending what Pentagon officials say is inappropriate messages to a Florida woman named Jill Kelly. That brings us to the end of the news. Thank you very much for your time. I am Fatou Kamara, and on behalf of the news team, have a good week.